Just while Ed is backing up here, again, this is David Wayne at AIM. And we're doing a series here of webinars for the Phoenix. And we've had such a good response that we wanted to continue this series and get people really familiar with their products, because they are really up and coming with our organization and going very strong out there in the annuity field. So we wanted to make sure that you guys had access to know what is the strong products with them and how to use them and how to interact with us and the Phoenix company. So I have Ed Federici with the Phoenix on the phone, and you've been watching slides go by where he's been talking, and I guess talking to him and me only, which didn't know until we got some calls in. So we're going to back up a little bit. Sorry about that, but we'll go fairly quick, that we won't go too far into it. It won't take too long. So Ed, I'd like to have you go back to this product and
Sure.
go over what you were talking about one more time, and let's share it with everybody.
Yeah, not a problem. And just to kind of kick it off, our thought was to create a product line that allows you to have a dialogue and a meaningful discussion with your clients, and to really dig into what their risks, what their fears are, what their hopes are in terms of planning for retirement, right? So the point being is that have a discussion with them, or have an offense in terms of presenting product strategies and solutions that if they're telling you, hey, look, I've been in a brokerage account or a managed account, I have funds and I have stocks, right? Well, maybe you want to have a discussion about an accumulation product that is a fixed index annuity, provides upside participation, obviously downside, eliminates the downside risk because you're in a fixed index annuity. Or maybe they're saying, I'm more concerned about income. I've done some income planning, and I know that I have some set fixed expenses that I'm going to need to address when I retire, which is going to be X number of years away. I know I have my taxes. I've got my phone bill, my cable bill, my computer bill, my utilities, and I need so basically, you know where I'm going. You can kind of listen to your client, have a dialogue with them, and find out what is most important for them. So we, as a carrier and a manufacturer of these products, have put together this Four Corners offense, but then also a product line that allows you to listen to your client and then point and shoot them based on what you're hearing. Now, in previous webinars, we've done training on our personal retirement choice. This is our brand new exclusive distribution product, which means that because of your affiliation with AIM, you have access to this, and this has quite frankly become one of our fastest growing products, so I want to thank you for all of that. And so if your client's talking to you about accumulation, you've got the best upfront premium bonus in the marketplace today, head and shoulders above what else is out there, a 15% immediate premium added to the account, and some uncapped strategies that's relatively new for us, but that really allows you and the client to harness and get at some great accumulation potential. Also, if your client has, maybe they don't have a life insurance, maybe they don't have long-term care, maybe they need to stretch their assets as best as possible. We have a combo product called Personal Protection Choice. Not all the features are available depending on the state that you're in, but the point being here is this is a combo product that has a great income feature, a nursing home rider, so that if your client's confined to a nursing home, it takes the income and multiplies it by 250%, payable for 5 years if your client's in a nursing home. And we have the best kept secret in the business, and I've been told this is the best enhanced death benefit in the business today that rolls up at 10%, and it's payable as a lump sum to your client. But today, what I'm going to shift to is maximizing your client's income with our personal income annuity. So this is available for your clients ages 0 to 85, single life, joint life, qualified money, non-qualified money, very flexible. And what makes this a great product is, number one, very consumer-rich benefits that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. Number two, it's a great story. And what makes a great story? Something that's simple, something that I can easily tell you on a webinar today. You can pivot later in the day and tell this to your client. They're going to get it. And then the last point is we have agents telling us a year later when they're doing their renewal meetings with their client, the client remembers the story. They're repeating it back to the client. So that's a home run when a client's repeating a story back to you a year later. And so what makes this a great story is that it revolves around when your client needs to turn on guaranteed income, today or tomorrow. If they're looking to turn on income in those first 3 years, we add a very high bonus to the benefit base, 30% in the first, by the way, it's the year 0. So immediately a bonus, they can, number one, immediately they can turn on income, and we add a 30% bonus to the benefit base. If they turn on income in year 2, a 37.5% bonus, and in year 3, a 45% bonus. What do all these do? Turbocharge the income in the first 3 years, and I'll show you the evidence of that. If your client says, well, you know, David, I'm not going to retire for 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, then you want to use the income tomorrow strategy, which rolls up at 14% simple. And as you can imagine, the longer the client can defer, we're going to get at some really great guaranteed income amounts. So the proof is in the pudding. You can have great roll-ups and bonuses, but it really comes down to what are your guaranteed income amounts for your clients. All of these are based on 100 grand, and these are quotes, not illustrations. Remember, income today, that's up to a 45% bonus to the base. And here's some commonly run quotes that I asked our sales desk to put together. So a client age 60 looking to turn on income immediately, year 0, $5,642. The great thing about using 100 grand is we can very easily convert these into percentages. This is a 5.64% GMWB. A client age 63 with a 2-year wait when they're 65, 6.8%. And a 65-year-old wanting to turn on income immediately, just shy of 5.7%, coming in at 5.668%. So we're just under the radar of 5.7%. Now, for your clients that say, you know, David, I want to defer and wait a little bit later, you can see we're getting at some very, very high single-digit GMWBs. And these are, by the way, both of these numbers, quotes, no matter what's happening in the market, these are locked in. No matter how long your client lives, these numbers are locked in for your clients. So with that 14% roll-up, a client age 60 wanting to retire at the traditional 65, 7.75% GMWB. Client age 65 wanting to retire at 70, 8.57%. And a client 67 waiting 5 years, 8.58%. Okay, here is a very kind of plain vanilla simple quote. Excuse me. This is what our quoting tool output looks like. It's 2 pages. This is probably the most effective marketing tool that you can use to market this product. So very simply, gender, client's age, covered person's name, your name, state, and premium amount. And you can see that we show both income today and income tomorrow, so that once again, you can have a dialogue as to the trade-offs between the 2 strategies. You can see the bonus on the income today, 30% bonus, 37.5, 45. And then you can see with the income tomorrow, here's the 14% roll-up added each and every year. Also, you can see the trade-off between, here's the quotes for the guaranteed income amount. You can see income tomorrow in that 4th year, this is where the income becomes superior to income today. One other point, you can see in the 8th year, I showed you some high single digits. Here in the 8th year, we're getting at a 10.4% GMWB. So, once again, great story, but why this is so, such a high-selling product for us, you can get at some really great, quotes for your clients in terms of locking in an income stream for the rest of their lives. All right, so that's kind of common quote. I'm going to get into some advanced strategies. So if I mentioned earlier, if you're an engineer and you like to get into the weeds, I think you're going to like these, and they're all based upon our liquidity feature. Well, not all, but most are based on our liquidity feature. It's a 10% penalty-free withdrawal available during the surrender period. Now, I've just shown you that we have a 14% roll-up. So even I can do the math on this. 14% roll-up. Client can take out 10%. Well, that's positive math for the client. So I have 5 ideas to share with you, and I'm going to tell you what agents are doing today that's driving sales in this product. The client may go with a plain vanilla quote, hey, David, I'm 60, I want to retire in 5 years, that's when we're going to turn on the income. But what agents are doing is they're listening to their client, and they're picking one of these strategies and showing one of these quotes alongside a kind of a more plain quote. And the reason is it shows off flexibility. It shows how the product can you can get at income early on, turn on higher income later, and quite frankly address some needs. And I think some of the most popular ideas revolve around the RMD and some of the Social Security ideas. But let's just go through them, right? So the first idea is called the 4x4. And the idea, this came to me because my father-in-law, who's a retired state trooper, has a pension that can go up if inflation is higher. So he's got this potential rising income stream. So I thought, wow, what would that look like if we created a rising income stream with our personal income annuity? So what I did was, here's a client, age 65, $100,000, income tomorrow, rolling up at 14% simple, and we're going with personal income annuity. So the 4x4 translates into, we use that liquidity feature, the penalty-free withdrawal, to get at some income early and allow that roll-up to continue to grow. So the 4x4 is, let's turn on a 4% withdrawal, increase that each year by 4% compounded. So we've created this 4x4 rising income stream, 4% increase every year by 4%. So you've taken out all this dough through the penalty-free. In the 8th year, you got a 5.26% withdrawal. And then in the 9th year, the client says, okay, let's turn on the rider. Let's turn on the income stream for life. So despite taking out all this money, this rising income stream, when the client does turn on the rider, this is our GMWBs, these are our quotes, quoted guaranteed income amounts, they're turning on a 6.75 GMWB, even after turning on this 4x4 income stream. So another thing I just want you to look at, too, to be cognizant of, the last withdrawal, right, the penalty-free withdrawal was over $5,200. When they turn on the income, it's $6,700. That's a 28% leap. So once again, flexibility to get at money early on, and a great income stream even after taking out all this money to get at a 6.75% GMWB. So that's the 4x4. That's the rising income stream. The next idea is, I call it the doubler, and the point is to kind of show off a little bit here, just how strong the income is, and the point being, who wouldn't want to double their income over time? So here we have a client, age 70, $100,000 to keep it simple, income tomorrow rolling up at 14%, and we have personal income annuity. So a little bit different, a little bit simpler. So what we do here is we just start with a 4% withdrawal each and every year, and we do this for 10 years. So this is $40,000 in withdrawal. So you've created a 4% income stream every single year using the liquidity feature. Then in the 11th year, you turn on the rider. And so this guaranteed income amount's rolling up at 14. The client's getting that an $8,060 GMWB for life, no matter how long they live. So you've effectively taken out 40% of their premium early on, and then you're turning on an 8% GMWB down the road. You've doubled their income over time. Okay, this next idea, quite frankly, has been our most popular strategy. We've created a client piece that you can access on this particular strategy as well. And let me just give you a little context and perspective as to why this is important and why this has been so popular. $5 trillion, that's with a T. $5 trillion are in the hands of pre-retirees, partially or fully retirees who are planning to take their RMDs or are taking their RMDs. Okay, and I just have an anecdotal story for you that kind kind of hits home why this is important. I have a friend who is 58 years old. She is highly educated, highly intelligent, and this is a couple months back now, but we were at a party and we were talking about retirement, and she was so proud to tell me that she had just done an IRA rollover. So her life savings, and she's retiring in a few years, she was so proud because she's thinking she's done the right thing, right? She's rolled over her assets. So I asked Deb, where did you roll over the assets to? And she said, well, I talked to my advisor, and we've done a managed account. So my first thought, well, maybe he's using alternatives, some alpha-generating strategies alongside a bond ladder, and she's doing something sophisticated. So I said, Deb, what have you done with the money? Well, he's put me in American funds. Nothing wrong with American funds, right? But if you're a few years away from your retirement and you've placed your entire life savings earmarked for taking care of expenses in retirement, that could be a problem. So I said, my next question was, Deb, what funds are you in? And she paused and looked at me. She said, I don't know. So she is like many other Americans who have no clue. So she's thinking she's done the right thing. She's proud. She's taken action, but she doesn't even know what fund she's in. Most Americans, if you look at IRA rollovers, 71% of the assets when they're rolled over are in stock funds, individual stocks, ETFs, or managed accounts. Translation, they're exposed to the market. So these folks who are now taking their RMDs, right, 71% of the assets are in the market. So we have a great opportunity here with a simple, oh, by the way, question. How are you preparing to handle your RMDs? What funds are you in? How are you protecting those assets? My friend Deb, highly educated, wants to do the right thing, right? Just made a mistake. She trusted somebody, but she's in the market. So this is the context and perspective around this idea. So here we have a client, age 69, $275,000 in qualified money, and we're using the Income Tomorrow rider. So here's a client that is planning to, you have to take the RMDs by 70 and a half. Maybe this person doesn't need the money, okay? So here's what we do. We use an online calculator. You can go to Fidelity, you can go to T. Rowe Price, you can go to Google, type in RMD calculator. It's that simple. There's a ton of options out there. So I took this amount, took the client's age, and I figured out, very simply, what would be the required minimum distributions each and every year. And I've taken them out using the penalty-free withdrawal privilege. And in the 11th year, right, when the client is at a point where, okay, I'm 80 years old, I want to turn on my GMWB, there's a couple things that you want you to note. That's a $23,354,000 GMWB for the rest of his or her life. 8.5% after taking out over $88,000 in RMDs. Okay? The other thing to point out, look at the last withdrawal, $9,500, up to $23,354 in terms of guaranteed income. So that's a huge leap for the client. So you satisfied the RMDs. You've now turned on a GMWB that will more than adequate to take care of any other future RMDs, and you've locked in as 8.5% GMWB. So with that said, this is our most popular strategy. There's a client piece that's available that we're happy to make available to you as well. All right, last two ideas revolving around. I know a lot of folks do seminars on Social Security. This was called the Social Security Solver. Client, husband and wife, he's 65, she's 62. They're deriving guaranteed income via Social Security payments, $2,500 a month or $30,000 a year. But there's an issue. If the husband were to pass away, we've got this immediate shortfall of income going to the widow. It's a $1,000 shortfall per month from the $2,500. That's a $12,000 per year shortfall of guaranteed income for the widow. And the problem is exacerbated if she lives to her life expectancy, which would be age 86. So the total shortfall, if she lives to that age, is $288,000. That's a huge nugget to try to overcome and make up for. So what we do is we take a female, age 62, $275,000, maybe it's proceeds from life insurance or other assets. We use the income tomorrow rider, and you can see there's a similar theme here. We're using the penalty-free to make up that $12,000 shortfall she's experiencing from the loss of her husband vis-a-vis reduced Social Security payments. So we take out the penalty-free each and every year, $12,000, and then in the 8th year, when she turns 70, she turns on an $18,198 GMWB. You've taken out all this dough, you made up the shortfall, and when she turns 70, she's looking at a 6.7% GMWB. All right, the last idea, and then we'll start to wrap things up. The staller. We're taught in life, don't put things off, attack things immediately. The early bird gets the worm. But here's actually a situation where if the client stalls, they'll be better off. So let's tee this up for you. Here's a client who's 55 and is thinking about planning for retirement, doing some income and expense analysis, and really wants to retire at 62. So he's gone on to socialsecurity.gov, went to the quick calculator, plugged in how much he makes and what year he wants to retire, and he gets this printout, this table, kind of a quick calculation of what his Social Security benefit would be. And you can see his target is age 62, but quite frankly, he was disappointed. I've worked all these years, and I can't retire at 62 on $14,460. Man, I was really expecting something more like this, but to get at the $27,000, I got to keep working until I'm 70. I don't want to do that. I really want to target 62. David, what do I do? How can I make this happen? So the strategy, the staller, revolves around this. Let's use our personal income annuity, income tomorrow strategy to turn on income and then stall the Social Security benefits until the client turns 70. So let's look at what that might be like. So we have a client age 55, 200 grand, and they're going to turn on the income when they turn on 62. So that income tomorrow, you got that 14% roll up each and every year. When they turn 62, their income, once they turn it on, will be $16,078. That's an 8% GMWB at age 62. All right, so the plan, that sounds good. That's higher than Social Security would have been. So let's turn on the GMWB at 62, get the client $16,078 per year in guaranteed income, and we're going to delay Social Security from 62 to age 70. So the client's going to get at that $27,936 instead of the 14. All right, I know there's a lot of columns here, but bear with me here. Here's a client age 55, and if he's going the route, he or she is going the route of Social Security only, it's a $14,460 benefit. Social Security only, $14,460. If, however, the client says, you know what, I'm going to go the route of, at 62, instead of just going this route, I'm going to turn on personal income annuity. I'm going to get at $16,078 GMWB, and then stall Social Security so that when I'm 70, I've been taking the 16, and I'll turn on a higher Social Security benefit. So Social Security and personal income annuity is $44,000. That's almost a triple from Social Security alone. So Social Security alone, $14,460. The staller, personal income annuity, then turning on Social Security down the road for $44,014. So I wanted to see, okay, what's the difference over time at different stages in the client's life? Social Security alone at age 80, $274,740 in benefits from Social Security. However, if the client went the option of using the annuity plus Social Security delayed, it's $614,042. That's a difference of over almost $340,000 by the time the client turns 85. Social Security alone, Social Security and personal income annuity, almost $500,000 difference. And obviously, as the client lives longer up to an advanced age, age 90, Social Security alone would be $419,000. Social Security and personal income over $1 million, and a huge difference. So here's just a quick look at personal income annuity. You can see that we have pretty much the waterfront covered in terms of states where it's available. I know a lot of you could be in Washington. I get questions about Texas, Pennsylvania, California. So once again, we do have the waterfront covered in terms of availability. And this is also a very popular cheat sheet on our personal income annuity that I suggest you get in addition to running a quote. And it just shows you, here's the quotes based on your client's age and when they turn on income. It's a very strong piece for you to use. So at this point, I want to, once again, thank you for your business. You guys have really ramped it up with us. Always a pleasure to work with David on doing these webinars. If you are looking to get a piece of marketing, obviously, if you're comfortable, please feel free to call AIM, but I also want to make up or offer you access to our sales desk as well. If you want somebody to run a quote for you, if you want somebody to send you marketing materials, please feel free to call us as well. So David, I've wrapped it up. Even with the false start, we're well before the top of the hour, and I want to thank you, David, for allowing me to do this webinar for you today.
All right. Well, thank you, Ed. And to everyone that's on the phone, again, our apologies for the disruption at first. We thought everyone was listening and didn't know until about 15 minutes into the presentation that there was a glitch there. So with that being said, we are going to run a series of these Phoenix annuities, go through the different products, and I think the next one's up in a week or a week and a half or so, and we're going to do the personal, retirement choice plan. It has been a very, very solid program for us, and we've had a lot of success with it, and we continue to do so. So we want to make sure that everyone's aware of it. And we'll go through any of the other ones. If someone has a suggestion that they would like to do a different product, let us know, and we'll make this thing happen. One of the things I want to make sure that people know, and Ed, maybe you can go back in here, is the link to get the software for Phoenix. How do they get that? Ed, are you there?
Had you on mute. Sorry about that, David. What I will do is I will, after the presentation, I'll send you a link that you can pass out, and then also I have since we kind of got a little bit sidetracked, I've got a Brain Shark, which is an 8-minute presentation with audio that I'll send to you as well, which will go through many of these ideas. But simply, we have a link to our partner center. You can get on and run some quotes. So I'll make sure I pass that along to you.
Okay, great. We'll get all those to that at the very last. If anyone has a question that we weren't able to get answered, I'm going